You look at the poll numbers, Americans really, everything is still up for grabs. Whether you're talking about health care, whether you're talking about tax reform, whatever you're talking about, the House. I mean, poor Paul Ryan, and I'm dead serious. Paul Ryan, the numbers on Paul Ryan down to like 20%, 21%, which just shows what a thankless job that job is as Speaker of the House. There's somehow, even with the Republicans in power, there's this big void and Americans want it filled.
And it doesn't seem like the Democrats are able to sort of even begin rebuilding in terms of they seem to be kind of floundering a little bit. Here are the new numbers overnight from NBC News and Wall Street Journal showing President Trump might also have some more work to do to persuade Americans on his agenda. Confidence is slipping in the president and Republicans' ability to improve health care. Half of Americans have little to no confidence in their plan, spiking 16 points from February, while those who have a great deal of confidence is down just 8% to just 8%. Asked if Congress should continue efforts to repeal and replace Obamacare, 40% say to keep going, 37% say do not continue. On the subject of immigration, 6 in 10 say it helps more than it hurts the United States, a 9-point swing in favor of immigration since September. Free trade with foreign countries also remains popular, 57% to 37%.
Free trade popular. Immigration popular. We could go down the list here, but the Republican Party is swimming upstream on every one of these issues. On free trade, I mean, that's a 6 in 10 support free trade, 6 in 10 support immigration. They don't even have a majority of people saying go after the replace and repeal. It's a plurality within the margin of error at 40%.
No, but according to Wall Street, the ABC, the NBC poll,
right.
Trump really hasn't lost any ground with his base. He's essentially in the same place.
Right, but
he hasn't expanded.
So he's at 40%, which will be great if he runs for re-election in the Republican primary. But how do you get the Senate to pass anything if you're a 40% president?
You can't. And then you have a health care bill. Remember, Joe, it was at 17% approval rating. You're never going to pass something like that through the House because Congress is not going to pass something that only has 17% support. This bill makes some changes, but there's been no conversation with the country. There's been no vision laid out of what they want to do. And so if you got a president with low approval ratings and then you have a remedy with low approval ratings, I don't know how you move things like that.
So, Steve, he's sort of narrow casting his message, right? He's doing a, we'll say he's doing a cable. It's not even basic cable. He's specializing on like a small slice of the public. And he's that he's not going to ever have a big enough audience at 40%. We'll speak in terms that he likes to speak, and he will never have a big enough audience at 40% to pass anything major through the United States Senate.
He is trying to play, whether intentionally or not, he's trying to play American politics and presidential politics by totally different rules than we've seen before. And he's trying to establish that maybe the rules we thought existed about the political durability of somebody playing this game, maybe those different rules than we thought existed. What I mean by that is, back in the campaign, his numbers were record low. The number of people who said he's not qualified to be president, doesn't have the temperament to be president, they don't like him, they don't trust him. We said nobody can have those numbers and get elected president. By the thinnest of margins, he then gets elected president. He skips trying to reach out and do the honeymoon. He so far has no legislative accomplishments to speak of because of the realities Rick just talked about. The prospects of major legislative progress in the next few months aren't that good. But here's the question with Donald Trump. Is he, whether intentionally or not, playing a very different game where he stirs up all of this noise in the media, in culture, in the political system, and the noise itself generates a backlash, generates support among his base, and can he, even if he doesn't have huge legislative accomplishments to speak of, can he hold on to that base that just narrowly elected him and get nobody else?
And let's look at these really quickly. Net positive, negative ratings. Mike Pence, 38 positive, 39 negative. The Democratic Party, 34 positive, 39 negative. President Trump, 39 positive, 50 negative. Republican Party, 31 positive, 47 negative. Paul Ryan, 22 positive, 40 negative. Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.